Welcome to the Bible Quiz and Trivia channel. Today, we're focusing on the enchanting book of Song of Solomon with 30 thought-provoking questions that will test your understanding of its poetic and vivid narratives. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video to support our content. After the quiz, share your score in the comments. We love seeing how well you do. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question 1. What is the primary theme of the Song of Solomon? A. The wrath of God. B. The love between a man and a woman. C. The journey of the Israelites. D. The laws of Moses. Answer B. The love between a man and a woman. The Song of Solomon primarily explores the romantic and intimate love between a man and a woman, celebrating their affection, desire, and mutual enjoyment in a series of poetic dialogues and vivid imagery. It stands out in the Bible as it focuses on the beauty of love, making it unique among the spiritual and historical narratives of other books. Question 2. How many chapters are there in the Song of Solomon? A. 8. B. 10. C. 5. D. 12. Answer A. 8. The Song of Solomon contains 8 chapters, each rich with poetic imagery and expressions of love and affection between the lovers. The structure of these chapters helps to unfold the narrative in the lyrical voices of the characters as they express their feelings and experiences of love. Question 3. What type of literature is the Song of Solomon considered to be? A. Historical narrative. B. Wisdom literature. C. Apocalyptic literature. D. Poetic and wisdom literature. Answer D. Poetic and wisdom literature. The Song of Solomon is categorized as poetic and wisdom literature within the Bible. Its lyrical form and rich metaphorical language classify it as poetry, while the exploration of love and relationships aligns it with the wisdom tradition found in other books like Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. Question 4. Who is traditionally believed to have written the Song of Solomon? A. Moses. B. Solomon. C. David. D. Isaiah. Answer B. Solomon. Traditionally, King Solomon is believed to be the author of the Song of Solomon, which is also known by the subtitle Song of Songs, suggesting a superlative description indicating the finest song attributed to Solomon, who is said to have composed many songs and proverbs. His reputation for wisdom and his historical context as a lover of many women provides a backdrop for the themes of this book. Question 5. In which part of the Bible is the Song of Solomon located? A. The Pentateuch. B. The Prophets. C. The Writings. D. The Gospels. Answer C. The Writings. The Song of Solomon is found in the Ketuvim, or the writings section of the Hebrew Bible, which includes the diverse collection of poetic books, wisdom literature, and other types of writings. In Christian Old Testaments, it is typically grouped with the poetic books. Question 6. What is the original Hebrew title for the Song of Solomon? A. Tehillim. B. Mishlei. C. Shir Hashirim. D. Koheleth. Answer C. Shir Hashirim. The original Hebrew title for the Song of Solomon is Shir Hashirim, which translates to Song of Songs. This title implies a superlative, indicating that it is the greatest of songs, consistent with its poetic and thematic richness. Question 7. Which chapter of Song of Solomon is known for its detailed description of physical beauty? A. Chapter 4. B. Chapter 1. C. Chapter 7. D. Chapter 5. Answer A. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 of Song of Solomon is renowned for its detailed and poetic descriptions of physical beauty. It features an extended passage where the man describes the beauty of his beloved in elaborate and metaphorical language, emphasizing the admiration and affection he holds for her. Question 8. What metaphorical imagery is predominantly used in the Song of Solomon? A. Warfare and battle. B. Gardens and nature. C. Law and order. D. Kingship and rule. Answer: B. Gardens and nature. The Song of Solomon extensively uses the imagery of gardens, plants, and natural elements to symbolize the beauty, fertility, and vitality of love and romantic desire. This lush imagery helps to convey the sense of a paradisiacal and intimate space shared by the lovers. Question 9. Who are the main characters in the Song of Solomon? A. Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. B. A bridegroom and a bride. C. Moses and Zipporah. D. David and Bathsheba. Answer: B. A bridegroom and a bride. The main characters in the Song of Solomon are a bridegroom and a bride, often interpreted as Solomon and a Shulamite woman. The dialogues primarily revolve around these two figures as they express their love, longing, and admiration for each other through a series of poems and songs. Question 10. What is the setting for most of the dialogue in the Song of Solomon? A. In the wilderness. B. In a palace. C. In the temple. D. In gardens and rural settings. Answer: D. In gardens and rural settings. Most of the dialogue in the Song of Solomon takes place in pastoral settings, such as gardens and rural landscapes. These settings reflect the natural and uninhibited expressions of love and desire between the characters, and they often serve as metaphors for the beauty and fertility of their relationship. Question 11. What does the term Shulamite refer to in the Song of Solomon? A. A type of perfume. B. A dance. C. The female protagonist. D. A city in Israel. Answer: C. The female protagonist. In the Song of Solomon, the term Shulamite refers to the female protagonist, who is the beloved of Solomon. She is often described in relation to Shunem, a place known for its beauty, and the term may be derived from there, emphasizing her beauty and desirability. Question 12. How is the theme of love depicted in the Song of Solomon compared to other books of the Bible? A. As a covenant. B. As divine love only. C. As romantic and passionate. D. As familial duty. Answer: C. As romantic and passionate. Unlike other books of the Bible that may focus on divine or familial love, the Song of Solomon depicts love as deeply romantic, passionate, and sensual. This portrayal is unique in the scriptures as it celebrates human romantic love in its own right, without direct theological or moral overtones. Question 13. Which chapter of the Song of Solomon includes the famous line, "I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine"? A. Chapter 2. B. Chapter 6. C. Chapter 8. D. Chapter 3. Answer: B. Chapter 6. The famous line, "I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine," is found in chapters 6 to 3 of the Song of Solomon. This line epitomizes the mutual love and exclusive devotion between the lovers, highlighting a central theme of mutual possession and intimate connection in the book. Question 14. What are some of the symbolic interpretations of the Song of Solomon? A. Historical events of Israel. B. An allegory of God's love for his people. C. Predictions of future prophets. D. Laws for the priesthood. Answer: B. An allegory of God's love for his people. The Song of Solomon has often been interpreted symbolically as an allegory of God's love for his people, Israel, or for the church in Christian interpretations. This allegorical reading sees the passionate and committed love between the man and the woman as reflective of the deeper, spiritual relationship between God and his followers. Question 15. In what way does the Song of Solomon address the topic of marriage? A. As a legal contract. B. As a sacred covenant. C. As a metaphor for political alliances. D. As a lifelong partnership. Answer B. As a sacred covenant. In the Song of Solomon, marriage is portrayed as a sacred covenant that reflects deep love, respect, and mutual commitment. The poetic dialogues and intimate expressions between the bride and groom underscore the sanctity and emotional depth of marriage, framing it as a divine and joyous union. Question 16. How does the Song of Solomon characterize the emotional aspects of love? A. As a fleeting emotion. B. As deeply passionate and consuming. C. As secondary to duty. D. As a purely spiritual experience. Answer B. As deeply passionate and consuming. The Song of Solomon characterizes love as deeply passionate and consuming, with vivid descriptions of longing, desire, and emotional depth that permeate the text. This portrayal showcases the intense and often overwhelming nature of love that binds the lovers together, transcending mere physical attraction and touching on profound emotional connection. Question 17. What role does nature play in the imagery of the Song of Solomon? A. It symbolizes conflict and chaos. B. It represents growth and decay. C. It reflects peace and harmony. D. It acts as a backdrop for romantic expression. Answer D. It acts as a backdrop for romantic expression. In the Song of Solomon, nature serves as a vibrant backdrop for romantic expression, with gardens, vineyards, and natural landscapes framing the interactions and emotions of the lovers. This setting not only enhances the poetic imagery, but also symbolizes fertility, beauty, and the flourishing of love, echoing the natural and instinctual aspects of human relationships. Question 18. How is the woman's voice represented in the Song of Solomon compared to other biblical texts? A. As equally authoritative. B. As submissive. C. As dominant and leading. D. As secondary and supportive. Answer A. As equally authoritative. The Song of Solomon presents the woman's voice as equally authoritative, giving her a prominent role in expressing desires, feelings, and commands. This is notably different from many other biblical texts where female voices are less prominent or influential. Her eloquence and emotional depth are central to the narrative, offering a powerful and assertive female perspective on love and relationship dynamics. Question 19. What literary techniques are prominent in the Song of Solomon? A. Allegory and metaphor. B. Narrative prose. C. Legal rhetoric. D. Genealogical listings. Answer A. Allegory and metaphor. The Song of Solomon extensively uses allegory and metaphor, crafting a rich tapestry of imagery that enhances the sensual and thematic depth of the text. These techniques allow the poetry to convey complex emotions and themes through vivid and often symbolic language, making abstract concepts of love and beauty tangible and resonant. Question 20. How have interpretations of the Song of Solomon varied across different cultures and histories? A. Consistently literal across cultures. B. Varied, from romantic to allegorical interpretations. C. Universally seen as historical record. D. Always interpreted as purely prophetic. Answer B. Varied, from romantic to allegorical interpretations. Interpretations of the Song of Solomon have varied widely across different cultures and historical periods, ranging from viewing it as a romantic celebration of human love to reading it as a profound allegory of divine love, such as between God and Israel or Christ and the Church. These diverse interpretations reflect the text's rich imagery and multiple layers of meaning, allowing different communities to find relevance and spiritual depth according to their theological and cultural context. Question 21. What is the significance of the garden imagery in the Song of Solomon? A. It symbolizes isolation and wilderness. B. It represents danger and deceit. C. It signifies secrecy and intrigue. D. It embodies fertility and sanctuary. Answer. D. It embodies fertility and sanctuary. The garden imagery in the Song of Solomon is significant as it embodies fertility and sanctuary, representing a private and lush space where love can bloom and flourish away from the outside world. This imagery is often used to symbolize the safe and sacred nature of the lover's relationship, evoking paradisiacal connotations and the intimacy of their connection. Question 22. How does the Song of Solomon depict the beauty and pain of love? A. As transient and ultimately unsatisfying. B. As harmonious and without conflict. C. As intense and sometimes painful. D. As purely joyful and uplifting. Answer. C. As intense and sometimes painful. The Song of Solomon depicts the beauty and pain of love as intensely intertwined, presenting love as a profound experience that brings immense joy and fulfillment but also vulnerability and occasional pain. The text explores how love can be exhilarating and deeply satisfying, yet it also exposes lovers to the fears of loss or rejection, reflecting the complex realities of intimate relationships. Question 23. In what ways is the Song of Solomon considered a controversial book in the Bible? A. Due to its explicit content. B. Because of its simple language. C. Due to its lack of spiritual themes. D. Because of its unclear authorship. Answer. A. Due to its explicit content. The Song of Solomon is considered controversial primarily due to its explicit and sensual content, which is a stark contrast to the more reserved and spiritual tone of most other biblical texts. Its vivid descriptions of physical love and attraction have sparked debates about its appropriateness and interpretation within the sacred canon, making it a unique and sometimes contentious part of the Bible. Question 24. What parallels can be drawn between the Song of Solomon and ancient Near Eastern love poetry? A. Use of similar metaphors and themes. B. Identical linguistic structures. C. Common historical figures. D. Similar prophetic messages. Answer. A. Use of similar metaphors and themes. The Song of Solomon shares several parallels with ancient Near Eastern love poetry, including the use of similar metaphors and themes such as gardens, spices, and the celebration of physical beauty and love. These similarities suggest a cultural context where such poetic expressions were common, reflecting broader artistic and literary traditions of the time. Question 25. How do modern theologians interpret the sexuality described in the Song of Solomon? A. As metaphorical only. B. As historically inaccurate. C. As symbolic of spiritual union. D. As literal and celebratory. Answer. D. As literal and celebratory. Modern theologians often interpret the sexuality described in the Song of Solomon as both literal and celebratory, recognizing it as an integral part of the poetic expression of love within the text. While allegorical interpretations exist, many contemporary scholars acknowledge the song's celebration of human sexuality as part of its broader depiction of love and intimacy, valuing the frankness and beauty with which it is portrayed. Question 26. What historical context is important for understanding the Song of Solomon? A. The Exodus from Egypt. B. Solomon's reign as king. C. The Babylonian exile. D. The conquest of Canaan. Answer B. Solomon's reign as king. The historical context of Solomon's reign is important for understanding the Song of Solomon, as it reflects the peace, prosperity, and cultural flowering of his period in Israel's history. This era is marked by political stability and extensive cultural exchange, which may have influenced the literary and artistic outputs of the time, including the rich poetic expressions found in the Song of Solomon. Question 27. What are the challenges in translating the poetry of the Song of Solomon? A. The straightforward and simple language. B. The extensive use of ancient idioms and metaphors. C. The lack of historical references. D. The uniformity of Hebrew poetry. Answer B. The extensive use of ancient idioms and metaphors. Translating the poetry of the Song of Solomon presents challenges due to the extensive use of ancient Hebrew idioms, cultural references, and metaphors that may not have direct equivalents in other languages. These elements require careful interpretation to preserve the poetic beauty and depth of the original text while making it accessible and meaningful to contemporary readers. Question 28. How does the Song of Solomon contribute to the overall narrative of the Bible? A. By providing historical accounts. B. By offering prophetic insights. C. By exploring themes of love and relationship. D. By detailing laws and commandments. Answer C. By exploring themes of love and relationship. The Song of Solomon contributes to the overall narrative of the Bible by exploring themes of love and relationship in a deeply personal and poetic manner. This exploration adds a dimension of human emotion and intimacy to the biblical text, providing a counterbalance to the more legal, historical, and prophetic books and enriching the scriptural understanding of human experiences and divine interaction. Question 29. What are the key theological debates surrounding the Song of Solomon? A. Its inclusion in the biblical canon. B. Its implications for salvation. C. Its views on monotheism. D. Its perspective on afterlife. Answer A. Its inclusion in the biblical canon. Key theological debates surrounding the Song of Solomon have often centered on its inclusion in the biblical canon, due to its secular themes and explicit imagery. Discussions have focused on whether its content is appropriate for Scripture and what spiritual insights it can offer, reflecting broader questions about the nature and purpose of sacred texts. Question 30. How has the Song of Solomon influenced modern literature and art? A. By promoting historical narratives. B. By inspiring themes of divine judgment. C. By influencing romantic and erotic themes. D. By encouraging prophetic writing. Answer C. By influencing romantic and erotic themes. The Song of Solomon has significantly influenced modern literature and art by providing a rich source of romantic and erotic themes. Its vivid imagery and passionate expressions of love have inspired countless artists, writers, and musicians who have drawn on its poetic techniques and emotional depth to explore similar themes in their own works, contributing to the enduring cultural impact of this ancient text.